very welcome back. Well, we have a festive favourite from my neck of the woods on the menu today. The man to feed us is Shane Rigney from Riggers in Dublin. Hey, thank you very much for joining us today. What made you decide to cook this delight? Of course it's because of me, isn't it?
Because I knew that I was serving it to you. And it's Christmas. Traditional kind of dish. So I said, right, we'll do what we do. So this is a good... I think it's traditionally eaten on Christmas Eve. We had this a bit when I was younger, but not a huge amount. Some people seem to be really into it. And it's very much in their family. You're really into it. It's a very Cork thing, yeah. Very Cork thing. But it's delicious. And every time I do have it, I'm like, oh wow, that's gorgeous. Yeah. Even for work, God, sambos, stuff like that. And I think traditionally, what's good about it is that it's a cheap cut of meat, so top side or silver side. You can use a top sirloin or a roasting joint if you want, which is a tough cut, and then you cure it, which I'll show you, and then boil it, and then you can eat it for a good few days cold with all those nice things that you have in the kitchen at Christmas, like piccalilli and chutney and nice bread and stuff, which I've kind of served for you there. So what you start with is your side, your joint. So I have the top side here, so it's 2.5 kilo. So whatever you kind of have, you can just alternate the recipe, okay? I've made up just a load of excess spice there.
So what particular spices have we in there?
Teaspoons of it. Yeah. So you have juniper berry, allspice, clove, and you can add little bits to it if you want. So you can add a little bit of cumin or a little bit of cardamom. Yeah. But they're the kind of traditional spices in it, okay?
Ground up and then?
Ground up, so I've already ground them, okay? So I have that spice. So you can do them if you have a little coffee grinder, you can use just already ground. Or if you have fresh, great. A little bit of nutmeg as well. If you have fresh, lovely. But if you don't, by all means, just use your pre-ground jars. And a pestle mortar if you have it. Fantastic,
Before that, we have to cure the meat.
Yeah. So what I've done is a couple of cups of brown sugar. Okay. So you start with that. Okay. So I have one cooked here already. So you start with this and you leave this for 24 hours.
So you're just putting literally brown sugar and that's it.
Rubbing it all in. Yeah. Just get in at it. Put gloves on. Rub it in and just leave it sit there. Okay. And that'll
in the fridge, you're just sitting out.
In the fridge.
Yeah.
Okay. Cured. Okay. Covered over with some cling film. If you can leave it for a couple of days, great. So 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, that's fine because you're kind of curing it with sugar, and then it's not going to be sweet because you're going to wash that off, okay? So I'm going to take that out of the cure, okay, and just pop it in here, all right? So what I'll do is I'll rinse it off just with some water just to show you, okay? So you would obviously just do this in the sink. Yeah. Yeah.
So it all just slips off there.
Exactly.
And is it any particular sugar you have to use? Any kind of brown sugar?
You can use anything, really. But light or dark brown sugar would be great. Okay, so we just want to... so that's just washed off then, okay? And then what we're going to do is... I'm just going to put this and pat it dry. Okay, get rid of that water for a second.
What does the sugar do to it?
It's like a salt cure. It just cures it. Yeah. So you can use sugar or salt. Yeah. And we're going to put some seasoning on it, so it just brings out a different flavour. It adds a little bit of sweetness to the meat. You can see that it darkens the colour, so it gives you that colour, okay? So we're going to just tap it dry, okay? And then what we want to do, make sure it's really, really well tapped. And then put our spice mix on, okay? And then for this, what we want to do is leave this for... so I think it's about 3 tablespoons of each of your spice, okay? And then some salt, right? So a good lot of salt, okay? So we leave that, give it a really good rub.
And coat the entire thing.
Coat the entire thing. I've trimmed off a good bit of the excess fat. Yeah. All right, so just let that all get in, work it into it, massage it in, let the flavours
really
build.
Seep into it, yeah.
Yeah, and then what you do is you cover that with cling film. Take these off, okay? Cover that with cling film and leave that in the fridge, and you can do that for longer you can leave it, the better.
So are we talking hours or days now here?
Days. Yeah. So leave that for up to 7 days if you can.
Wow.
It is going to take on the flavour more and more and more.
So all these lovely spices just seep into the flesh of the meat.
Beef, Yeah. And it gets in. Obviously, it's a joint of meat. Yeah. So it's not going to seep right through to the centre, So that's going to be just your slices when you get it. But it's the edge, right? So that's it. So you leave that covered in the fridge, let it do its thing for 7 days, pop it into a pot, cover it with water. You can put a little bit of stock, bouillon or something like that if you want to flavour it more, and just let it boil away for about 40 minutes, 50 minutes per kilo. Yeah. So roughly that's had about 2 hours.
2 hours.
Okay. And then what I've done is I cooked this yesterday, and then I just left it sitting in the water
You
all
actually
night.
let it sit in
Let
the
it sit in the
actual
water all
okay.
night.
Does that not leach out all the flavours or?
No, it's just sitting in its own
Juice,
cooking liquor and its own marinade.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done, right? So what I'm going to do is, don't do this at home. But you know, I'm a trained chef, so I'm just going to put
What
my
are you
hand
up to?
right in. I'm just going to take it out. Okay.
Okay.
So
that's the colour change.
So
is
that's
amazing,
your
isn't
that's
it?
your piece of meat there. Okay. And what you can do is, I like to let it sit. I've just brought that back up just to heat it through slightly, but that will be cool in the cooking liquor.
Okay.
And I just left it out all night. I didn't put it in the fridge because the temperature's going to come down all night, and it's so cold in the kitchen last night.
Yeah,
So it was
perfect.
okay. And a warm day, if you were doing this,
You wouldn't
probably
do
be doing
it.
it summer.
Yeah.
You do. And so that's it. So then I'll just give you. So just slice it then.
I was going to say simples, but the actual preparation is, if simple, it is time consuming. It's not something you can just.
But you know,
pop up very quickly.
but it's very quick though.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
You have to-
there's a
you
few
have to
steps,
plan ahead for
but it's
it,
only
yeah.
minutes, and then
Yeah.
leave it, and then boiling it, then you just put it on and leave it. Okay. So there's your nice slice. All right. So what I've done is I have just some brown bread. You can have that like warm. You can have it like as a dinner. It's lovely. But I've just done some chutneys with. So I made a little beetroot, and apple
So
chutney.
This is beetroot and apple, yeah?
Beetroot and apple, and then this is apple butter. So I've just slow cooked some apple and just cooked it down until it becomes a nice silken consistency.
Oh, look who has arrived just in time for
And
the
some butter and
fruits.
brown bread.
Right.
And it's lovely. I think it's lovely served on a nice board
Here.
like that, you know?
Is this always served traditionally? I don't know why I'm asking. You've just told me earlier that you didn't have spiced beef at Christmas. You're not even a proper Cork person.
Tommy, revenge will be mine.
Is this?
We had turkey and ham and not a Christmas Day. That's what I was about to say
It's
to you
not
anyway.
really a Christmas Day dish.
That's what I was going to
No.
ask. Is it the supper the night before?
The day
People from
after
Cork
as well.
can't have both. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so they'll still have turkey and ham on
And it's nice
Christmas.
in sandwiches
Right, well, I
and
cut it
stuff.
up then.
Yeah.
You can help yourself there. 'Cause,
And also,
you know, I won't
for
touch
me
it.
personally, I mean, I'm busy on Christmas Eve, and I wouldn't want a big feed on Christmas
Yeah.
Eve,
Yeah.
so I'd horse into that on Stephen's Day.
Yeah, exactly. That's
You know what I mean?
we do as
Controversial
well.
statement, but to me, the best thing about Christmas food is the sambos with
Big time.
the ham or the thing.
Christmas
or
sandwiches,
whatever.
yeah.
Or-
That's what the
We're
best thing
making
about
Christmas
spiced beef
sandwiches
as
all
well.
month,
It's
so
absolutely
cooking
lovely.
joints of turkey and ham all for the like whole of December and putting them in sandwiches. So yeah,
And you have to have real butter as well.
100%.
I'm gonna horse into that during the break now. Anyway, full recipe details are on our
taste of-
website.
a taste of Cork at
I know,
Christmas.
don't you just love it? Or of course, Riggers D8 is open across the festive season. Pop into Shane when you're in the neighbourhood.